grave, you can find water. Tonight at the Fountains Historical Society, one of the best dowsers that I've ever heard about. He's doused literally thousands of graves. He's like 100. He's like ivory soap. He's 99.99% accurate. He doused the outline foundation of the Piggott Fort down in Monroe County, which is the people are still looking for. And the city of Columbia has authorized a payment of, I don't know, all kinds of stuff that they're doing research. And I'm thinking, he already did it. He walked out there with these dowsing rods, so every time he'd find a spot, he'd put a spot down. He had the whole thing outlined, took these pictures of the outline, and then he pulled all these flags up, because that was where the thing was. But, yeah, it's pretty interesting. Well, he's going to come and talk to us tonight. But anyway, I was over at the Piggott Cemetery. You know where that is on Scott Air Force Base? Anyway, when Scott Field first came into existence, there were 8 family farms in that valley. And the government came in, they were going to do Army training, Air Force, and first they rented them for like a couple, 3 months, and then they just said, no, we're going to just buy them. So they took everything there. Well, anyway, the family cemeteries in the old days were on your property. In other words, when somebody died, you just buried them in the backyard, or on a hill, somewhere nice. And that's how these family cemeteries exist, and they're all over this county. Well, anyway, I was over there, and the gal that was in charge of the Kirschbacher and Middlecoff cemeteries, she had a Boy Scout project, and they had come over, and they found the location of the different graves, and then they had doused and found more graves, so she put little white crosses in. Dowsing is done because there's a disturbance in the electromagnetic field of the earth. That's how geese fly south for the winter. They're on a tangent line of one of those magnetic lines, and they don't veer off much, and that's how they get south and north each year. Well, when you dig a grave, evidently this disturbs the electromagnetic field in the ground. And at that point, when you walk over a grave, in other words, if I was at a graveyard, let's say that I'm in a cemetery and there's a bunch of graves in a row, all I would do is I would take my dowsing rods, this is just 2 copper rods, and I would walk like this, and when I would come to a grave, the rods will cross, and as I walk over the grave, they'll unlock. And as I get to the next one, it'll lock, and so forth. And you can tell whether it's a male or a female by the way that the magnetism runs on the body. On the left, it's a boy. On the right, it's a girl. There's also, you remember the old way that you used to do in high school? And you take that pencil and put it over your wrist and see how many kids you're going to have and all that. But the same thing goes with a grave. You balance the rod over the grave, and it'll swing in a circle, or it'll go the other way. I always like the one where you just stand there and hold it, which is what Galen talks about. But anyway,